Hello and welcome to another Garos gaming video on YouTube. Today I'm going to be talking about the update and drink up event that I attended on Thursday, the 9th of October. Basically, for those who don't know it, Drink Up was a major event that was held in the Northwest to bring local game developers and service providers together, and also to raise awareness of the rapidly growing creative scene. So what we got basically was a whole bunch of indies coming down and showing us a variety of interesting titles that are going to be releasing soon or already are released. This video will highlight my experience of the night on a whole and bring to light some amazing projects developed by indie game developers across the country. Everything was recorded by myself under the influence of the bloody open bar, so apologies for the potato quality. However, I will leave links and additional videos to all the games shown, such that you can all go check them out for yourselves and even in some cases have a go for yourselves. Um, the whole event was a lot of fun, thanks to the lovely hosts who hosted us, which were Warren Matthews and Andrew Bennison, whom I'll leave the links below just in case you guys want to showcase some of your games in the future. I got to meet so many interesting people like Dave, who's pictured right now. Dave is a lead programmer from Eiconic Games. They're developing a new tower style defense type game with a unique twist. Unfortunately, it wasn't on show or at the actual event, but it will be one to look out for. It's launching in December this year on PS4 and PS Vita, so do keep an eye out for that, and I'll leave links down below again so you can check them out for yourselves. I also got to meet the guys from Prospect Games, and that was Jack and Andrew, really nice blokes. They're working on a Unreal 4 engine title called Daedalus, I believe. It's a kind of a quadcopter stealth game. I'm certainly intrigued to see and find out more about this game. It wasn't shown on the actual event. However, I will leave a link below again so you can follow the progress and see what this talented team is cooking up in the oven for you. So, without further ado, let's get to some of the gameplay videos of the day. And first up, we have Raging Justice. Raging Justice is being developed by Anna and Nick from Birmingham. They came from the Midlands to showcase their game at the event. Just an interesting fact: Nick was an ex-Rare employee, so this I've got my eyes on this one. I have to say it seems like a nod back to those classic 80s, late 80s, early 90s Streets of Rage, Final Fight style type of games, uh, where you basically go around kicking some serious ass and arresting bad guys in a crime-ridden city of wherever the hell they call it. It looks really, really cool, and as you can see from the art style and the graphics themselves, it really does invoke feelings of nostalgia. Uh, there's even got like sections where, like, with the tractor and the motorbike, which kind of reminded me a bit of Golden Axe back in the day, and it looks just so much fun just driving around that tractor and kicking some ass. Yeah, it's an interesting one to look out for, and you should definitely check them out. I believe it's getting released in March 2015, and they're aiming to release them on PC, consoles, and mobile devices. In fact, they showcased it on an iPad, which was kind of cool, and it looked quite pretty awesome. The next title is a fantastic game called Tiny Keep, which is being developed here in Manchester, actually. It's very, very fun, procedurally generated dungeon crawler, which kind of reminds me a bit of Dark Souls in many ways. For one, you've got to pay attention to your surroundings and rely on them quite heavily if you want to make it through alive. And for the other side of things, which reminds me of Dark Souls, is basically the premises of the game, where you basically wake up as a hopeless prisoner in a forgotten dungeon and you've been mysteriously released. Sounds familiar? Basically, you have to go finding out who's released you and progress through the game to find out more about your predicament. You get to play in a variety of environments, I believe, and might end up in a place called Hell. You might have heard of it. Yeah, it's quite tough, and it's certainly a challenge. And I really, really enjoyed my time on this one. You start off completely vulnerable without any weapons or any shields or swords or whatnot, and you have to actively quickly find them as quick as possible before you get swamped. And the combat is quite fun where you have to time your strikes uh, to the T. Otherwise, again, you can easily just quickly get overwhelmed and take it down swiftly. This game is out already on Steam. Again, I'll leave a link down below for you guys to check it out, and it's well worth your time. When I had a quick word with the developer himself, he kind of hinted to me that he's also working on bringing it to consoles, and ideally, he said Vita would make a good fit for this game, and I wholeheartedly agree. can't wait to give it a shot on the Vita when and if it does come out on it. As the night piled on, we managed to level ourselves up into the tipsy state as opposed to being sober. But luckily enough, we were still capable and able to hold the controller and pile on. Which brings me to the next title of today, a game that shouldn't be attempted to be played at under the influence of alcohol. This is a sub-level zero. This came about as a result from a Ludum Dare game jam. The bulk of this entire game came out in just about 72 hours. And as you can kind of see for yourselves, it's sort of a Descent-inspired type space sim shooter. It's kind of a six-degree freedom space shooter with procedurally generated space stations to navigate at, which can get quite disorientating because you start losing your perspective of where you're at. It's quite cool. The procedurally generated code involved in this is made by the same guys who worked on Tiny Keep, and I believe there's two members from that team that are also working on this title. Um, the game they showed to us on the night is a very early prototype, the one they actually created at the game jam. Uh, and since then, the team that have made this, they've also added other features such as Oculus Rift support and etc. You can try out the prototype build for yourselves. I'll leave a link below for that. When I got in touch with the team, they notified me that they will be making a big official announcement relating to this title soon. And the next time they will have this available for the public to have a go at, it will most likely be an alpha of the proper game rather than this early prototype we've shown. So far, so good, I have to say. The prototype available has a few bugs here and there, and it's quite challenging. But don't let that put you off it. Give it a go and see how long you guys can survive for yourselves. This title was brought to us from Tom Ware and his team Xyloware, who came all the way up to Manchester from Brighton to showcase their first attempt at making a game. This game is called Street Heroes and is being developed as a Facebook game. It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up with a few nodbacks to the 32-bit golden era of the genre. And I got myself a bit of a hint of a noir inspired Castle Crashers when I gave it a go. Um, it was a very, very early build that we got to play, and only one stage, I believe, was there. But the developers of this one, they promised there's going to be a full customization mode added to customize your character, as well as their attributes and skills and whatnot. They're also planning on adding up to four-player synchronous multiplayer mode where you can play and fight alongside your Facebook friends. The team is also going to be adding a horde mode, I believe, and I love myself some horde modes in these type of games. So yeah, this is definitely an interesting one to look out for on your for Facebook gamers out there. Next up is a game called Don't Walk, Run. This was a very early prototype again presented to us on the night, and it's a local asynchronous multiplayer game where you can play with two up to four players in a movie set, if you want to call it that way. Well, it does make sense to call it that way because you assume that the three players they will assume the role of actors on this B movie set where they have to traverse the environment and try to survive from all the pitfalls and environmental hazards that are presented to them. Whereas the fourth player will assume the role of the director of the set, where that player will be playing, as you can see, on the mobile device or tablet or whatever he or she has at their disposable at their disposal rather. So basically, what the director would be able to do is manipulate the environment and try to create problems to the other three players and take them down as quickly and as swiftly as possible. So you could do things like shifting cars around, removing buildings, and setting the players on fire. Triggering mines and applying barrels to explode after a set amount of time, so you could basically strategize and try to get the bait the player into walking down a path only to get blown up by a barrel or something. And yeah, it's quite it looks quite cool as well. And another thing you could do, you can also like remove the gravity of the playing field, whereby you can which will enable the director to move larger objects such as big trucks and vehicles and stuff. Yeah, um, the, when they were showing the game, they were showing it on the massive projector at the event, and it wasn't quite as smooth as the game directors would like it to be. They did tell me it was running at 60 frames per second on PC, and on the other platforms you were playing. But I do think there was a bit of a lag going on due to the projector itself at the venue. Yeah, but other than that, it was pretty frantic, and it was quite funny to watch the three players playing together, trying to avoid the lead game developers' attempts at destroying us. Or not, I say attempts. He was actually kicking the crap out of us while we were trying to survive. But yeah, it's a interesting, fun couch multiplayer type game where it'll be interesting to see how many friendships are lost in the process of, of playing this game. I'll leave some better videos below in the bottom of this video that will showcase the game better than my capture, because I do believe you've got to see it in better fidelity and explained in better terms. Actually, you can well see for yourselves how cool this one can actually possibly be coming out in the future. I don't have a release date for this one either, but it's as I was told, this was just a 7-week prototype put together for the update event. So, having said that, it was pretty good for what I had seen for such a short period of time. Finally, the last game that I saw is this two-player platformer with a twist. You can play it solo too at your own peril. I won't say any more than that, other than check the link below to try it out for yourselves on Newgrounds. If not for the frantic platforming, then do it for the excellent soundtrack that accommodates it by Luke Smith. I'll leave a link to his SoundCloud below for your hearing pleasures. Uh, Thank you very much, everybody, for watching this video all the way till the end on my impressions on the update events. I'd just like to say a massive thank you to Buddy and John for coming with me to this event, and had a real good blast with them there. If you like this video, do give it a like. Leave us your comments below what you think of the games shown, and if you like what I do, give us a subscribe too. Thank you. See ya. Bye.